Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Rosie Peacock. Welcome to the show. I read about you in the little bio. I would like to present you to the audience. You are a modern medicine woman, a positive psychologist, and coaching psychologist, a facilitator of expanded states of consciousness, psychedelic integration coach and researcher, and the creator of an accredited mindset coach training certification. I like to hear more from you. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Caroline.
Oh, this is so amazing. So, what inspires you?
Wow, that's a really big question to start with. I feel most inspired when I feel deeply connected to nature. When I have a deep connection to nature, I feel like I have an awe-inspiring look on the world, and I appreciate deeply the way that we are as humans, the fact that we exist at all, the fact that we have consciousness, that we can co-create with the universe and make magical things happen, that nature kind of loves and supports us. And that was really actually the start of my own journey into working with psychedelics was through plant medicines and realizing that plants have their own spirit and can be our teachers. So I suppose that's another way that I'm inspired, is in my ongoing journey and appreciation for plants' wisdom and all it can teach us.
Wow, thank you so much. Plant can be our teacher. This is what you
Mm-hmm.
said. This is amazing. I never heard this before. Okay. Yeah, and who inspires you?
Yeah, good question. I have a shamanic teacher who I trained under called Krista McKinnon, and I did her psycho spiritual shamanic training during my maternity leave about 18 months ago. And her deep connection to herself, to the world around her, to her practice, and to her students was, I found, very inspiring. The way that she runs her business and the way she shares her wisdom. She's a published Hay House author, and she touches many lives through the way she shares her work, and it comes from a very authentic and very soul aligned place. So I'd say she inspires me. I look forward to sharing this with her actually when she when she listens. She'll be like, "Oh wow."
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I had another question, and your answer fits perfectly to that question as well. Um, do you have your own podcast already or not?
I'm in the process of planning and creating it. So it's going to be called Soul on Brand, and it's all about psychedelics, personal branding, and personal brand strategy and psychology and storytelling, and how they can be informed by and linked to psychedelics.
Wow, I love that because the question would be or would have been, who would you invite if you had your own podcast? And yeah,
Yeah,
you
well,
have.
I would probably invite Krista, but I would also really like a good chat with Aubrey Marcus. I think that he has a fantastic podcast. I listen to his stuff all of the time. He's also a fellow psychedelic advocate and dedicates his life to self improvement. So I would love to hear some of his opinions on the podcast too.
Wow, thank you so much. I look forward listening to your podcast. I'm
Oh,
so
thank
excited now to hear about your project. Thank you so much. And
you.
how do you inspire other people?
That's a lovely question. I feel like I've always wanted to inspire others and to make a space better than the space I left it in. My very early stage of my career, I was a secondary school teacher, and I wanted to form young minds and to help them to kind of see the potential in the world. And one magical teacher when I was at school who inspired me to believe in myself and to make life on my own terms. And it was transformational for me. And I wanted to be that for others. And then within the school system of the UK, I became burnt out, and I realized that wasn't the place that I could inspire others as well as I could. And so that's why I went and trained into coaching, because coaching, the psychology behind it, is really um, a whole science behind how to help people get the best out of themselves. And so I would say through coaching, that's one way that I inspire others, but also I have a passion in photography. I do brand photography for people as well. And this has been quite a new thing. My partner's actually a photographer, and through supporting him for many years, it's become something that became my creation and my passion. And so capturing people in their essence, in their kind of fullest form, is a real way to inspire them, because then they get to truly see themselves, not the kind of themselves that they maybe pick apart in the mirror or can be critical of, but they get to see the magic of them, the essence of them, like how magical and special they are. And I think that can be a really inspiring process for people too.
Wow, absolutely. And when you do the how do you call it? Yeah, the plant medicine journeys, or can
Mm.
I say this? Then you can also document the before and after.
Yeah,
Looks
absolutely.
alike.
And I feel like that's not so much me inspiring them as the perhaps the mushrooms or the other plants, right? Because I'm more the facilitator. I just kind of step back, nourish this, hold space, allow them to go on their journey with the wisdom of the plant teacher. And so yeah, I wouldn't want to take credit that I'm the inspirational force in that relationship, but that's definitely a way that people find inspiration through their connection with the plants.
Yes, wow, this is amazing. And what are your gifts and talents?
Oh, nice. As a positive psychologist, I thoroughly approve of that question, and it really is nice to have an opportunity to reflect on what we're good at. I feel like a real gift of mine is seeing people, like really seeing people, and allowing them to feel really seen, really acknowledged, to be very present with people. And that serves me well when I'm working with them with medicine, because I make them feel safe, make them feel seen, make them feel um, nurtured. I guess I'm a recently new mama. I have an 18-month-old, and so that kind of mothering energy comes through as well. I also think maybe one of my gifts is I'm very creative, and that comes out in various ways, whether that's my photography or poetry or even the way that I hold ceremony. I like to
Con-
create beautiful things. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. And you studied psychology, and then you decided to add the coaching, or?
So my master's was actually in coaching psychology and positive psychology. So I never studied the clinical side of psychology. I, I had never really been drawn to the part where you fix uh, things for people, where it's like mentally they're in a place where they're struggling and they're coming out of struggling. For me, what had always really fascinated me was human flourishing. Like, if somebody's just normal going about their life, what then turns them into something that's exceptional or industry leading, or the type of person who experiences flourishing or incredibly good well-being. And so for me, psychology had always been on that other side of the spectrum.
Network is offline. Sorry, my there was a little pause in there, but between psychology and coaching as well. And when you can combine the two together, this is, yeah, fabulous. What are your goals for 2024?
Mm. Goal number one is to be a really good mama. That's always goal number one for me now that I have my son. And so that's really changed the way that I run my business. And before, I used to work all of the time, and I loved my work so much. It was really a mission-led work. So uh, changing that to be a mothering focused way of working has been my big goal. But my other goals are to continue to support uh, people who are stepping into their sacred leadership through plant medicine retreats that I run one to one in the Netherlands, to continue to grow the way that I do my personal brand photography and support people through that form of transformation. And also to launch my podcast that I told you about earlier in our meeting as well. That's another big goal for this year for me.
Oh, this sounds amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait to listen to it, as I said already. So, when people reach out to you, whether it is through listening to this podcast or do you have a special offer for the Inspired podcast community?
Yeah. So if you feel drawn to work with plant medicines, I'll share with Caroline a link that you can use to do a free preparation course. I used to charge £800 for this, and then I realized during a mushroom retreat that I went on myself that actually everybody deserves really high quality psychedelic preparation. And so I took the price off completely. I made it a donation offer. So you could give me absolutely nothing and I'd be totally okay with that. If you feel like donating, that's wonderful of you, but it's not essential. Everybody really deserves to be supported in allowing plant medicines to be intentional and really amazing influences in their life. So I'll share the link with you, Caroline, for that.
Thank you so much. This is so generous, and I like your idea about the donation. I
Mm,
know payment models like pay what you want, or you choose your price, or but this is even better. You give a
mm,
donation, and it is for someone else. Yeah,
mhm.
donated. Thank you so much. This sounds amazing. I will have a look into the preparation course. Yeah, and I put the link into the show notes and the link
Perfect.
to your homepage as well. So now's the time for your message to the podcast community. Your
Mm,
message.
yeah, I'm just going to tune in and see what needs to come through. Oh, I just want to remind all of you that you are the source of inspiration in so many other people's lives. The fact that you're here and listening to this and that you're on your journey of personal growth and development, that you inspire so many people, whether that's in your family or close to you in friendships, or whether that's the people that you work with or encounter on a day-to-day basis. Just keep being your wonderful, inspiring self. And I hope one day that we get to connect and inspire one another.
Oh, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. And please, people, reach out to Rosie. She's amazing. She will help you. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Caroline. This has been fun. Thank you so much.
And see you in the next episode.